Hey everyone, thanks for joining a Perch Your Birds podcast. We interview people pursuing greatness. I'm your host, as always, Mr. Morgan Christian, and this episode is brought to you by America, because why not? Today we're joined by Mr. Neil Valdez, a true New Mexican pursuing lofty dreams that are slowly but steadily becoming a reality. We dive into the world of filmmaking and photography. This guy shoots TV shows, movies, and even works for some huge companies, billion-dollar companies, and doing side projects. I mean, you name it. This guy is the definition of a person pursuing greatness. We talk about the technical side of shooting film from the 8K to 35 millimeter formats, and we even talk about drone piloting. You guys are in for a treat. You're welcome. Everything Neil's doing at his company Facebook page is facebook.com/Vue Q ABQ. And of course, if you guys want to find anything that A Perch of Birds is doing, check out our social media. And of course, as our facebook.com address is facebook.com/APOB media. Come check us out. Give us a like, give us a share, and a special shout out to Xander Arts. We hope to see you on the podcast. And you guys, I hope you are going to be you're going to feel as exclusive as we did talking to some like insider Hollywood type on this one, because Neil like gave us the breakdown, and this shit is solid gold. So this is an APOB exclusive. Enjoy. Spider, kick this thing off, brother. So we got Neil Valdez on today. Senor Neil, say hello to everybody out there.
Hey, how's it going? How's everybody?
He's stepping in from the outside where the weather is nice here in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. We're on location at Satellite Coffee on University. Thank you guys for letting us come out again. Got to get a little bit of love out to these guys.
Totally. Thanks, Satellite. You guys rock.
Right? Very patient with me. They've been here for like 2 hours. I like to be really prepared.
Awesome.
So Neil, talk to me, man. What is just in the short? What is it that you do? I mean, we're of course going to delve into this, but like, what were you doing today? We were just talking about this standing in line for coffee, man. What's your game, man? What are you into?
Well, I own a production company here in Albuquerque, Vue Q Teleproductions, and earlier I was editing a bunch of footage from a burlesque show I shot this past weekend.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you do these editing things, are you doing this like in a place like a studio of some sort, or is this like your house? Like how big is Vue Q?
Yeah, I'm just running out of my house at the moment.
Okay.
I did have an office for a while and stuff, but unfortunately the owner sold it. So
Oh my gosh.
good for him. He got some money and everything, but I lost my office. And just have maintained working out of my house. It's pretty easy just doing that, just working on several computers I have.
Oh wow, several, bro. I like how you just that was just a nod. It's several computers.
Right.
Is one of them controlled by Jarvis or anything?
Nothing
Jarvis.
Super fancy.
No. That's coming though, right?
Right. Yep. The good old Marvel movement.
Right.
Jarvis.
So I haven't seen the movie yet. Have you seen it?
No.
The new Avengers? You haven't seen it yet? No,
have
okay.
not.
Okay,
Definitely
good.
need to check that out for sure.
I was gonna have to warn you right away. I hate spoilers.
Oh right. Yeah.
It's like, man, I don't want no spoilers because I've been seeing it online, man. Like Marvel made like a thing with Thanos where he's like, you will not spoil the shit.
Right. No,
hashtag movement, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay, so Vue Q is what you've created. This is the teleproduction company. We can find this thing on Facebook.
Yep.
And
Facebook mainly, primary source, and then we're registered with the New Mexico Film Office and all that good stuff as well.
Okay.
But our main source is Facebook.
Okay.
We have a Wix site and stuff, but Facebook I think is the way to go at the moment.
I mean, you're doing what you're doing. Like you're getting work through this. Through what you're doing. Okay, so you don't need like a big ass website and stuff like that.
No, not really. It's all pretty much like word of mouth, or I guess in my case, like I don't know. Like I do visuals, so people see my stuff and they're like, "Oh, I like what I saw." Right.
Well, dude, that's what drew me to you. I don't even know how I found you on Facebook, but I think you were friends with some similar folks, and something came up, and I was like, "Man, this is some cool ass video," you know. And then I looked, and I was seeing that you were posting it, and I always look as to who. how should I put this? What the source was, right? Like
Uh-huh.
where the video came from, and I was like, this dude made this video. Damn, you know. So
Nice,
just
nice.
going to your page, I found a bunch of stuff, and I was like, where's your work? Vue Q, you know. And I peel over, so
Right.
I will second that. Like it definitely was your work that drew me to you, and then you know
Nice.
I saw that you've had some personal strife. I try not to stalk too much, but I know that you've had some personal strife, and I feel like this is your big. This is your big to do, right? Like this is something that you're working hard to create, like your
Definitely.
lifetime career, and this is it,
Yeah.
right? It's what you found your calling, if you will.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely the passion I have is to create beautiful imagery and to create stuff for other people based off of what they tell me with the visuals that I can obtain.
And when you started thinking about this kind of stuff, like what was the first time that you thought, you know, I'd like to put my stuff or my vision that I get, or I guess would it be your work, your vision? I guess it's a combination of both of those things.
Right.
What was the first time you were like, I want to see if somebody else likes this? I mean, were you making home videos or were you trying to like put on productions? What was your thing?
Well, yeah. I actually, it was kind of weird how it all started for me. I was heavily into sports, and
Okay.
one of the coaches was kind of just like, "You're really goofy. I'm sorry, but you're so goofy. Maybe if I film you and show you how goofy you are, we can correct that."
This is a true story,
True
man?
story.
Wow.
So, so we did. He busted out the camera, filmed me, and I was just like, "Oh my God, how did you let me get away with this? Like, no wonder girls don't talk to me."
This explains it. I have the
Yeah.
answer.
Totally.
Hey, at least you came to that. I never knew why. I
Right.
left high school with the question mark, Doug. So
Yeah. So I was like, there you go. So it was like the relation between not knowing my form and stuff, and then him bringing out the camera, and I was like, wow, this camera has like some magic ability, like allowed me to see myself in a way I hadn't seen myself before. And it kind of just like, I don't know, made me kind of fall in love in a way. I was just like, okay, I'm hooked. Like,
wow. What age was this? Would you say?
it was high school. It was my junior year in high school.
Okay.
Coach was just like, "You're so goofy. I gotta do something to help you."
So did this? So what did you do with that? I mean, so you started to do like filming the.
So I was skateboarding and stuff at the time as well. So like I'd film my buddies skateboarding, or I'd film us at track practice, or
That's
whatever.
a natural progression, sure.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got away from the skateboarding. Probably shouldn't have done that, and got more into sports and stuff. But the camera has always been, I guess, what they called my fallback plan. So I always
Really?
had this real drive for sports and everything. Unfortunately, I blew out both my knees, my ankle, collapsed a lung and stuff.
Okay, hold
But,
on. So I'm losing sight of what sport you were playing. What sport exactly?
a whole bunch of different ones.
Okay, and you did all these things in different. Okay, talk to me. How did you
So,
mess your knees up? And all this? It's too good to.
I was
not
going
go.
to UNM on a track scholarship, and I liked basketball, so I was playing basketball there at Johnson Gym.
At the same time.
At the same time,
Okay.
shouldn't have been. You signed some paperwork that says you won't play other sports and stuff, and I was like, track's fun and all, but I really like basketball. Basketball, there's like 10 people on the team. 5 people can be on the court at one time, so it's a lot more, I guess, like focused and stuff as far as like fan base. I don't know. I used to be really
okay.
cocky and wanted everybody to watch me.
All right. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, it kind of the difference with that and track is, I mean, unless you're there for that one person, you know,
Right.
usually it's not a big deal. But with basketball, you get more of that camaraderie. You get
Yeah,
more of
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, it's
you know,
more of like a
O'Neal's
team
on
thing.
the court. Watch out,
Yeah.
Doc. You know.
Yeah, exactly. So I was playing basketball, and unfortunately suffered an injury where I blew out my ankle, blew out the ligaments there. Had to have it reconstructed and stuff. But
How'd the other
lost
guy look?
He was fine. He just he pushed me. And
Oh, okay. I was just
Yeah.
I was just joking. I don't know. I was alluding to the fact that maybe it was like some throwdown kind of basketball. So this was during a
no,
game
yeah,
or
it was
something.
just during the game.
Okay.
The other player kind of got bummed out. I stole the ball and went and dunked it, and like the gym erupted and stuff. So as I was letting go of the rim, he kind of pushed me, and I wasn't able
man.
to get my footing right, and I just saw the bottom of my foot, and with that went my UNM career,
Dude, that sucks, man.
which wasn't a bad thing, I don't think. Led me to where I'm at now, but the camera was always my fallback plan. So
So you're still messing with this even during sports and all that?
yeah,
Through college and all that. Okay.
yeah, all my classes were the typical athletic classes, and then it was a few art classes, and then photography.
Oh wow!
So
So
it
it
was
just
like
makes sense, man. I feel like you're very. Would it be left-brained? Isn't that what they call it when you're
that's
supposed to be more
some
creative?
people say that,
Right?
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's like science to speak both ways. I'm fucking sure there's a study
Right.
going each way.
Yeah, totally.
So okay, so then we get into this. We get into this mode where you're consistently making film, and then what are you doing with that film? Were you just collecting it, messing with it yourself, and just showing it to
Yeah,
friends?
it was really before I had any capability myself to edit or anything.
Okay.
So I was just really stockpiling all this footage
Sure.
and all these photographs.
Doing the
and all
VCR
this-
edit, bro, with the dual tape player
Yeah,
thing, trying
exactly.
to
Yeah,
record on certain
and
spots.
it was just as digital was coming into effect. So it was like I don't even know, like HD cam. So it was like this weird HD tape.
Tape, I remember that. Yes, sir.
And I was like, okay, like thank you. It's like my mom bought me this really expensive camera that was around for like a year or two.
Wow.
Then it was just like digital, and I was like, okay, like I have no idea what any of this stuff is, but I knew I liked capturing images, and that was really just what it was. Just capturing images. That there was a long period of time where I didn't have anything captured of myself, so I was like, wow, there's just this really extensive period of no photos, no video, no nothing
Of yourself.
of myself.
How
Yeah,
funny.
all these like really pivotal points in my life, I guess, like winning state track competitions and stuff like that. Just like other than the other people that were there to do it, it never was like an intent of mine to like document myself.
Yourself. And now I'm guessing I was actually listening to or watching a Kevin Hart video today, bro, and it was so funny the way that he was talking because he's talking about a fan that stopped him in the elevator and was trying to take a picture. It was like an older guy, and he's like, I want to get this for my daughter. And he goes to pull the phone out, and it's a goddamn flip phone. And then Kevin Hart like is trying to walk out of the elevator, but he's trying to be super nice, right? And he's
Right.
trying to hold the door open. So the door keeps closing on his foot, and the guy's like trying to figure out where the camera is at, like the app to get the
Nice.
camera out on this little flip phone.
Right.
So I guess like Kevin Hart goes to flip it around to like try to take a selfie, and he starts laughing. And like I didn't think about it till he said that today, but he's like, "This was before the fucking selfie age." You know what I mean?
Right,
Before
yeah.
every goddamn phone has a selfie camera on it. So that would have been your hang up there, because I'm sure back then there wasn't a cell phone in every hand, right? Like there
Yeah,
is now.
yeah, totally.
That's so hilarious, man.
Yep, yeah.
So it makes sense. You didn't have any of yourself through these pivotal moments, man. That sucks.
Yeah. So then it was kind of just like one day I kind of had this thing where I was at work. I was doing some personal security. After the track thing, I went down the sports path and found the semi-pro football league we have here.
Oh, really? What's it called?
There was a couple different names for it. It was like the Great Southwest Football Organization, and then a couple different names.
That's right. And they kept changing because it was like changing owners or something, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Okay. I think I heard about that.
Yeah, and I did that for a few years. And some of the guys I worked with worked at a security company, and some of the people in the building that we worked for were heavily into film and stuff. And were like, hey, you have a good look. You should come to an audition.
Wow.
We all go to these auditions and stuff, and it just so happened a Marvel film came to town.
No.
And they had it under, like, all productions that come usually have their stuff under a different alias.
Sure.
So this was called Group Hug.
Okay.
So I went to a Group Hug audition. Didn't really know
Like this
what it
isn't
was.
some sort of porno thing, right?
Right,
Just be
yeah,
sure.
exactly. I was like, I don't know you guys. But they're like, no, it's a Marvel movie. This is just the way they
Wow.
like do things and stuff.
They had you guys sign NDAs and all that?
Not at first. It was just headshot, or maybe it was, no, not at first. No NDAs and stuff. It was just like the headshot. It was just the casting process.
I did one with that Tango Foxtrot Charlie
Nice.
flick that was down, and I was blown away that was out of all the extra stuff I've done, that movie in particular was the first one that they hit me with an NDA. I was like, this movie, you
Right.
know, and I couldn't like put it together. I was like, is this like alluding that there's going to be some like plot twist, like some A-lister comes out, you know? But it was kind of B-listy, and it did horrible when
Right.
it came out, you know. But I was laughing because I was like, I've done so many movies where I could have just been taking pictures and goofing off, you know, and that would have been applicable. But here, I was like,
Right.
you know, if you guys ever want to watch a bad movie, Tango Foxtrot Charlie, it was a great movie in terms of the idea, but the execution was just, It was just a little weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
Have you seen it?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird.
Right.
I didn't think it came off as funny as they thought, but I think it was just because of the subject matter, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a touchy subject.
Yeah, and it still kind of is, but
Yeah.
so this is big stuff. So what did they do with that? Did you ever get into the movie?
So yeah, it was I believe like 32 or so of us got called. Me, my brother, and then a bunch of other people that we went to the casting call with. All got cast as Shield agents. In
Dude, that's cool.
The first Avengers movie, which is in my eyes really life changing for me. Just being there, the amount of days I was and stuff firsthand, after having stepped away from it the way I did, was kind of just like, okay, I made a huge mistake with sports.
Right, like the
Just,
time off could have been spent
yeah,
doing the
totally.
movie stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
what do you feel was more revelatory, like being? Because I've been on a few sets, like I've done a few extra roles, and on big sets and small ones, and I think the big ones are cool because it's like a little city they'll build. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And now I feel like you would know very well both sides of the coin when it comes to crew as well as cast.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the cast stuff, or were you staring at the crew guys like, damn, I want to do this? Like,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's what I was
okay,
doing.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you. Because I've felt that way, but I've only done extra roles, so I'm like, what the hell would I do? You know what I
Right.
mean? And I watch guys do all manner of stuff. So
No, totally. Yeah. And my thing is what I tell most people or anybody that'll listen really is any job in the real world, there's the same job, if not the same thing in some type of bizarro world form in the movie industry. So whatever
That's
you do in the
interesting you say
real
that.
world, there's it and the bizarro version in the film industry.
right. Well, for people that don't know out there, for you guys listening, of course, I think that trying to get into an extra role is easy. I mean, it's not terribly hard, especially if you just keep at it, because there'll be parts where they'll need 100 people, and you're guaranteed they just
Yeah,
don't have enough
definitely.
people to throw in there. But if you ever get to go check something out like that, it is definitely an experience, and it's very cool to see what people come up with, because every set is different. Because it's all leadership. There's people that are responsible for different things, and each one kind of has a different tone. Some people are lighthearted. Some people are ridiculously evil, and they just want to scream and yell and make you miserable, but they still create this beautiful art.
Totally.
So okay, so you're going through the movie. How long were you on set for the?
I believe it was around 40 something days.
Really?
Initially, it was like 30 something, but then we did a bunch of really cool CGI stuff.
That's awesome.
Where we came and got like scanned in and everything, 3D scan, like body tracked and all that cool stuff.
So was this like green screen? All
yeah,
that stuff?
yeah,
Oh,
green
wow.
screen, like huge green screens in the back, and then all the shield stuff is the helicarrier. So it's like the
Oh yeah, you're floating in the air. Essentially,
yeah,
is the
yeah,
idea
it's
of the
like a
set.
big like air carrier, like aircraft carrier, but it can fly.
Right. That makes
So,
sense. It's an aircraft.
Yeah, it's weird. Right?
What was it called? Do you remember what it was called? Or did you?
I don't offhand. I used to.
It had like
which
some
is-
name to it, bro. It was,
Right? Yeah.
It's the Mayflower, the
terrible.
Pinta, or the Nina. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So
Like
then
the
you were
hover ship or something.
right. So you do this, and then this is a cast role. This isn't a film.
Yeah,
right?
it was a
Isn't
cast
crew
role.
essentially.
Yeah.
So what happens after this? What is the next?
So I was there watching everybody and just really watching all the camera people and stuff, because that's where I feel I would want to step into if I was going to step onto that side. So I was just kind of like in awe and shock. There's all these huge movie stars there, Scarlett Johansson, Robert Downey Jr., all these people, and they're
Dude,
just
that's awesome.
crazy nice. Like we're all one of them. They're the same as us and everything. So it's just like super above and beyond, like mind changing, altering, or whatever. I was like, oh my god, I don't know why or how I'm
I
here.
can't even life, dog. I can't even life.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, like hopefully I wake up tomorrow and it's not all a dream.
So I felt like when I was doing them, like I was really being gifted something, because they treat you like gold, even at that level, compared
Yeah.
to like a normal job. You know what I mean? But it's like shift work. Like you're doing these crazy things. Were you on like 12-hour shifts back to back and stuff like that, or how are they?
Oh yeah, totally. And we got pretty intense with it, and I guess the level of that production, nothing I've worked on has really been as secretive.
Really?
We had what we would call Harry Potter cloaks. We'd go and get in a wardrobe, and then they just like give us these crazy clokes, and we're like the paparazzi's gonna be out there snapping photos, and we're
Yo.
like, we're in the middle of the desert, like there's nothing out here.
There's like one guy, he's like, swear to God, I've been out here 3 hours. What the hell, guys?
Yeah,
So you can
totally.
take a picture of your cloak. What the hell?
Right. They take our cell phones. Like the second we got there, it was
I
like
would imagine that
cell
makes
phones.
sense.
Everything was just gone, and nothing I've worked on since has really been that strenuous as far as security and everything goes.
That's legit. But they didn't have any leaks or anything, I don't remember, did they? Like, I
No,
don't know. Okay.
no, not at all. There was, I guess, some stuff that happened with the script. A script got out, but it was
Well, that's why
recovered
they,
and everything.
and that can be big because they rewrote. Is it the Crazy Eight? What the hell's the Tarantino film that he put out where it's the Wild West? They're in the cabin in the blizzard.
I believe
Fateful
that.
Eight,
Yeah,
Hateful Eight,
there you go.
Hateful Eight. There
Yeah.
it is, Hateful Eight. So the Hateful Eight, and this I could be wrong on this, but I'm almost for certain this is how the story went. Supposedly somebody had gotten out Tarantino's script, the original one that he was banging out,
Mm-hmm.
and when they did that, he decided to make the plot twist, and I think that's where you get the penis scene.
Nice.
How else to put it? When he's out in the snow, I think that's where that was, and I could be wrong, but it was like released to a forum where a bunch of like script geeks got down, so it was like dissected and torn apart, tossed all over the internet the day that it came out, and I think that they had already started Principal.
Nice.
And that was like the thing, like Tarantino they said he was like raging, like just tearing shit off the wall. He was so pissed, but they had to change a bunch of stuff. It cost a bunch of money, so I could see losing a script being a big ass deal.
Oh, yeah,
especially
totally,
for that,
totally.
because that movie, man, was like,
Oh
it
yeah.
was a pinnacle when it comes to the Marvel,
Right. Yeah, at the time it was the biggest movie and all that stuff. So
Right.
yeah, at the time it was ridiculous. And I guess yeah, totally just life changing for me. It opened my eyes to the film industry and that aspect and everything, and just kind of blew me away to where I was like, this is my calling. I've found my home.
It says fuck sports.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was like, oh man.
So
Sports.
what was the next move? So we do the Marvel movie. You wrap that. You got starry eyes, man. You're ready to jump in the crew.
Totally.
So what eluded the Vue Q, man? Like what was the?
It was a long path to get there, I guess, but it was just me wanting to create my own stuff. I wanted to be on set more. I wanted to have more of the set life atmosphere going on. Just wanted to be filming every day. Whether it was me filming my friends filming me, or just doing headshots for people or whatever I could do in
I
any
might have to hit
aspects.
you up on that, man.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Get some headshots in. I have ones from 2013. I still got on LinkedIn. I'm like, yep, that's me.
Right.
Not at all. I don't even because I had gauges in that picture, bro, and that was like like when I got real into IT, and now that kind of stuff's not as well accepted when you're in some
Right.
certain office environments. So I'm a totally different animal, but people are like, oh my God, you look so rebel.
Nice,
In the
nice.
office world, right? It's sad.
Totally.
So okay, so you're Grindr Men, and are you picking up gigs? Like, what were you doing? Because I feel like that's one of those things where you're not an A-list actor, so I'm sure you're not
Yeah.
getting people blowing down your door after this Marvel thing. What were you picking
Yeah,
up
totally.
to do? How do you get experience in that world?
It's a really hard world to live in. Like they say, there's a million fish in the sea, and you're all fighting for that one worm, and that one
Wow.
worm is that role or whatever. So they come to town, and they cast 5 people, and that's it. So it's like however many people are actors in the state all go for these 5 roles, and you either
Wow.
get it or you don't. So I was like, okay, I guess this is just a numbers game when
Right.
it comes down to it. So I can waste all kinds of time and energy trying to pick up one of those 5 roles, or I can hopefully try to expand on something else in the film industry.
Diversify, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I continue to do acting classes and do all that good stuff and seek out acting roles and everything. But at the same time, really wanted to pursue the other side of the camera and take the technical stuff I learned with the camera as far as photographs and transition into video.
Okay, so like lighting and is that what they call what define for me principal photography? What am I saying when I say that? Is that video, or is that the photography of the video, like those things, like the specifics of how the video looks?
Right. Well, I guess principal photography would just be what the film industry refers to as the actual time that is you're like on the clock and rolling.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, okay, because I think that word gets used loosely,
Yeah,
including by me.
totally.
I think I said it earlier, but I'm a, how do I put this? I'm a director. I'm a film person. I want to look at your resume. Am I looking for technical things in the video shots? Is there things that a trained eye is going to catch instantly at that to that level? Like, damn, this guy's good, or he's got a good grasp of X. Is that like a thing? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
okay,
Camera teachers or film teachers and stuff will definitely tell you there's different qualities to everything.
okay,
And then there's the whole science behind film as well.
okay,
It's how us as filmmakers make the audience feel. That's really the whole
interesting.
principle behind it, is how we invoke emotion upon others.
Huh. Okay. So this includes all like the whole thing. Like you put together so many pieces to try to so if you were to try to go for some sort of drama, you would start thinking about lighting and angles and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's a huge science behind everything, as far as where the camera is placed. If I want to make the subject matter appear more dominant or less dominant, it's just simple placing the camera higher or lower.
That's
Um,
that's fucking interesting because that's like the Harry Lord of the Rings stuff. How they shot
yeah, exactly.
all those cats. The hobbits were not actually done with CGI. He did that with actual camera tricks, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so you're speaking to that, right? Like I can
Yeah.
make one
Totally.
more dominant than the other. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the whole, I guess, psychology in film, which is another class that is required to take when you go and get your film
Psychology
degree.
in film, dog.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. The psychology in film, or the psychology of film. That's all it is how we can move or manipulate the camera and do different things to make you feel different ways about what you're watching.
Sure. Okay. So you have an idea of what you want to do as a camera guy as well as a cast member, if and when. So you're really starting to get diversified in this industry, going through acting classes, going through these little gigs. Were you doing stuff like electrician stuff, like gaff and all that, or were you?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
anything is really game
Yeah,
at
yeah,
this
and
point.
I kind of take that back to my sports career. I like to play both sides of the football, both sides of, like, you have to play offense and defense. So it just makes you an overall better player if you can be a receiver and then be a defensive back at the same time, because you should just know all the routes.
Sure. Sure. You can be
So
plugged in anywhere.
yeah, exactly.
Got you. Okay. That makes you definitely more hireable, bro. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, totally. So I've tried to adapt the same attitude towards the film industry, and try to be as versed in as many different crafts as I possibly can.
Have you ever done
Um,
craft?
I have, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, a big company, they're a fruit logo, came to town and hired us to shoot one of their commercials for a new iOS update,
Okay.
that they were
Was well
releasing,
done.
and they called that one Super Mario 4, which was not. Which I was like, oh man, Super Mario 4, but
Like what?
happened to be some phone company. But yeah, they hired me and my company as their full, like, production company. So I was
Wow.
all and everything that they needed. I was the person who picked them up from the airport, got
No
them the rental
shit, man.
vehicle, drove them to dinner, helped them do all the state paperwork and all that stuff,
And
as
then
far as the
were
tax
you doing
incentives.
casting too, or do you outsource that kind of stuff?
No, they actually had already done their own casting.
Okay.
But they made me go and do all the craft services and
So just for you
do
guys
all that
listening,
stuff.
if you don't know what craft is, essentially craft is the art of serving people food
Yeah.
and drink and anything they want. And usually the craft person is one of the most loved people. On this.
Definitely.
And if you're mean to the craft person, you know what? God bless you. Just God be with you, because that's a bad move. Because you'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
out there, you'll be starving and you haven't eaten for like 6 hours, and some homeboy rolls by with a little cup of soup and a sandwich, and you're like, you are God to me right now.
Definitely.
You got a water bottle? You got a water bottle? What? You know, you free. I went to, let's see, I was on the set of Transcendence.
Nice.
Transcendence had a craft trailer that you were allowed to go into, even as an extra. And you go into this trailer, and they have a few taps. One of those taps was a Red Bull tap.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, I was very alert.
Very alert.
I love me some crafty, man. That's awesome. So I've always wanted to know this because I've honestly, this is the first, probably the most I've ever had insight from a crew person, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if you will, in that world. Is crafty something that you look down on, or was that something you take in stride, just the same, add it to your resume and keep going, or is that, you know, like, are you scared to be like, oh, I'm always the craft guy. I wanted to be a fucking camera guy, and now they keep putting me as craft because I'm good at that. It's stupid, you know, like, is that
Right.
a thing? I mean,
Yeah, no, definitely is, and especially with the camera department. The camera department is kind of got a bad name, I guess, for people thinking they're bougie or something.
okay,
They think
okay.
they're like better than other people.
Like the Panavision guys that walk around behind the cameras, right? Isn't there like bodyguards to these like expensive cameras? They like
Right.
don't let anybody touch them.
Totally. But yeah, you don't really want to, if you're trying to get into one craft, you don't want to be known so much as being able to do those other
Right.
crafts as well.
Like Neil can run a camera, but he can serve the shit out of a soup and sandwich.
Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, I definitely can. I just don't want everybody to know that, because then I might just start getting those jobs.
That's beautiful, man. I like your work ethic and the fact that you'll take that and it's not a thing. Like, that's very humble of you, man. So
Yeah, no, totally. I'll do anything I can to help out, and that's the way I look at the production of television and film, is like, you're just a team, and if you can't just step in, where if somebody like, okay, the crafty dude broke his leg, somebody has to step in.
Right.
If you can't step in, then
right, his
you probably
girlfriend
shouldn't be there.
blew his tires out. He's cheating on
Yeah.
her. Damn it. We told Tom, over and over, quit cheating.
Right, and that happens.
It's like, I seen him, Tom. God bless you.
Yep.
So it sounds like the way that you roll is really what makes you hireable for even big fruit companies. So what would be I mean, did you feel like when you were rising to this occasion that it was a little like you were nervous about it at all, or did you feel like this is a natural evolution of the thing?
I definitely get nervous all the time.
Do you really?
I think that's why I continue to do it, because it's like the sports feeling.
Okay.
Where I kind of got to a point where I wasn't as nervous, but there was still always like those nervous like feelings. Like,
Right.
are you gonna perform at your best? Are you
Right.
gonna get the shot?
Am I gonna drop the wand on the track?
Yeah, exactly. like how am I gonna mess up today? But yeah, it's totally like that like adrenaline rush, the whole like, I don't know what it is, but it's amazing. I don't,
That's cool though. I mean, and that right there tells you that you're passionate about what you're doing, man. Like, you're truly pursuing it for the fact that it's you know, it's like I still can never see how people stay in service jobs. I always feel like those are those kind of jobs where it's kind of like, and I mean service like something like, God, I don't want to say barista, but like a McDonald's guy or something. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Right.
like, man, there's times when I'll see like some cat, it's like 40 or 50, and he's there managing, and I'm like, man, is that really what gets you off? You know what I mean? Like, you wake up in the morning, you're like, fuck yeah, burgers. You know,
Right.
It's just not a, you know what I mean? And to see somebody like yourself that it's scary, it was something you actually didn't know, and you can't go to school for that. I mean, I guess you can, but not in the sense of getting the, like you said, word of mouth. I mean, you can't just get a job because you got a degree.
Right.
And that's true in all fields. You know what I mean? So that's awesome, man. So what do you think would be with this kind of a thing? Do you feel like now you guys are going to expand Vue Q to get bigger, or are you trying to keep it this size to where you can do these smaller gigs? Like, is that like a natural evolution of the thing as well? Like, you're looking to get bigger and become big ass?
Yeah, definitely. Don't want to really get too big. Everything that I've learned now, and with the advancements of technology, you really don't need the super huge production teams that you once did.
Sure.
Most of the stuff that we do shoot is just me and my buddy. We've gotten to where we've not mastered, but gotten good enough at most crafts that we can do a production from start to finish, whether it's, I mean, not whether, but all aspects of the production, from pre-production to securing locations to the casting to the shooting, lighting.
And you were saying state stuff, so permits and taxes and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, we're licensed and an insured company. You have to have, I believe, $1 million
God
insurance policy
damn.
to pull any permits here in town and stuff. But yeah, we make sure we do everything legal and everything.
That's cool. But then I mean, again, that makes you higher. But like what I like about that is, the places that I've seen are usually the bigger studios that are, they're doing a lot of the bigger, more established. But I like to see that we have competition to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally, totally.
Because you're competition to like I-25 studios and all that, right?
Not direct competition, just
Right,
because
right.
they
You don't
have
have a big ass.
right. I don't have the big ass space and everything, but as far as a production company goes, I can pretty much do everything other than what they do with the space.
Sure. Okay. So you don't have a studio. That's it.
Yeah,
Like you don't
yeah,
have like a full-on studio.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's legit, man. So okay, so apparently you're getting picked up by these guys. You have quality in mind. I noticed that you were talking about these cameras in some of the latest posts that I've seen on social media. So did you go to school for like the ability to be able to filmography itself, like being able to like know the mechanics of the camera and how to apply that to shooting and all that?
Yeah, yeah. I initially went to school for photography, and then went back to school to C&M to do their film program and did all their
Okay.
certificates.
Because I saw some graduation thing. Is that
Yeah.
that's what that was?
Yeah, and
Okay.
me and my buddy are the first ones to actually graduate C&M's film associate program.
That's badass, dude.
Like the actual first ones to complete it. Did it in a year and a half.
Damn.
A 2-year degree, but we had started a little bit early with the certificate stuff because they're like, oh, if you continue to go, we're eventually going to make this into an associate. So
Oh, that's legit, man.
we kind of just jumped on it and did all the other math and all that stuff in intersession, actually, like 2 weeks worth of math that was 15 weeks condensed into 2 and stuff.
Damn.
That was fun.
Now, I love the sarcasm. So in this, are you learning things that you wouldn't have learned elsewhere, or would it have taken a lot of time to get to these things? You think?
Yeah, definitely. C&M's programs, I believe, one of the best in the nation.
No shit.
It's pretty much all hands-on. The teachers there are just like, here's the tools that you'll use. Here's some etiquette to get along with the people around you, and
Right.
this is
no
kind of
no
not,
nipples or anything
no,
like that. I'm sure.
the stuff not to do, and just like have at it. Like here, go to town, like create some awesome stuff.
That's the way to do it, though, man.
And like actually get your hands on all the tools. They touch all the lights, touch all the cables, the cords, everything that you possibly can.
Wow. And they have a pretty good gear there for being C&M. I mean, like their program is got some good hardware and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Fortunately, it's all been donated from a bunch of really big movie stars and people that just love film, and we're like,
shit.
oh, we want to give back to the community. So
Yeah, because
they've-
there's been a lot of film in New Mexico,
Yeah,
man, especially
definitely.
the Marvel world. I know
Yeah,
there's been a
yeah.
lot of those big A-list cats that have come through here and basically lived here for parts of their
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and then they develop relationships with people, and we're like, I like your guys' crew out here, and I want to see more people
Yeah.
from here in the industry and stuff. So
That's interesting. So I always ask this question in the podcast: how do you feel that other people view New Mexicans from out of state? Do they feel like the people are assholes, but the film people are all right? I mean, is that a thing, or what's the vibe that you get from out of town cats? Like because they got to come here a lot. They
Right.
live in LA, come here to shoot a movie and leave. I'm sure they're like, fuck New Mexico, or I
Yeah,
like the
they're-
chili, but
yeah, there's definitely the people have their ideas about it and
Sure.
stuff.
But the general consensus is good.
Yeah, the general consensus
That's
is
good.
always good,
Yeah,
and
I like to hear that.
And if it's not, after they hang out with me for a while, I usually tend to change their minds quite
So
a bit.
you're a New Mexican.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're fucking nice. I didn't know that. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I've actually had people question that New Mexico is a state. Have
Oh,
have
no,
you gotten
totally.
that? Have you gotten that yet?
Oh yeah. At the NAB convention, that's
Really?
telling people I'm from New Mexico, and they're like, "Great, let me get my translator."
No.
I just spoke English to you, though.
No accent whatsoever. I mean, a
Yeah.
little Burqueño, but
They're like, okay, hold on. And then all of a sudden, someone that I can understand comes and talking to me. I'm like,
you should have told him, you know what, you're right. Let me go get my translator. I'll be right back. Then just don't come back.
But yeah, pretty much everybody in Las Vegas thought we were from Mexico.
Oh my god! You know what gets me is when they ask you like, "Oh, do you have to get a passport? Like, how does that work?" You know, I'm
Right.
like, are you fucking serious? You know, like,
We're in the United States.
right? You know, like, we're a border state. You know, so okay, so you go through school. Kudos for that because I got my little baby associates, and it led to a big career in IT, which I found out I'm not the biggest fan of. It's not really. I like messing with computers. That was kind of always my calling. Like I was always that cat that had like, you know, the hottest computer for like the time for a
Nice.
little, you know what I mean? For like when
Yeah,
I was a kid
totally.
and stuff. Like I was always tinkering and doing stuff like that. And the associates was nice because it had me focus on the craft past
Right.
fixing mom pa kind of deals for homies and people, you know what I mean? And then I was like, well, I'm a pro now, I thought, you know. So but I didn't like the 9 to 5 of it and I still don't, you know what I mean? And
Totally.
and I do okay, but I think I got bored with it because then I started doing the extra stuff, you know, and that, you know, ultimately led to me getting options like, hey, you know, you can go to acting classes and try to pursue it in that method, kind of like you did.
Right.
But I chose to go to IT because it was fast money, you know. And
Totally,
It
yeah.
was a set of skills I was making real quick, but fuck, man, the 9 to 5 sucks. But you know, doing a few, I've 5, 6 extra roles, you know what I mean, and I've done like 3-day sets before at the most, you know what I mean. Like I was just like, it's amazing, dude. Like I was taking vacation to go there, and I'm making a lot less money there than I am at my 9 to 5.
Right.
But I was in love with it, man. Like every piece of it, man. And there's people that were complaining about it. I'm like, how can you complain right now? You're sitting in a costume, about to get on a movie camera, and at certain time, like I met Morgan Freeman. I got to, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
when do you ever get to say that you got to meet these fools that you watch on TV all the time? You
No,
know what I mean?
totally.
Like, yeah. So I could. You know, I could totally relate to that. So kudos to you for going to school. Kudos to you for pursuing the greatness. That's why I brought you on the podcast, for real.
Thank you.
So,
you.
yeah, dude. And so you graduate school. Where is this in the timeline? Is this like before you started getting the bigger stuff, like Apple and all that? Misspoke. The fruit company.
No,
cut that out.
it's been pretty recently. I believe like 2 semesters ago.
Wow, okay.
I just completed that. It's definitely not required to work in the film industry at all.
Because they want to see the result of that.
Yeah,
teaching.
exactly. It's
Okay.
telling people you have a degree or certificates or anything, or even a camera, anything, doesn't matter. They
Right.
just want to see what you've created.
Right.
And they actually want to see what you've created with your iPhone. They'd rather
Really?
see that than what you've done with the $10,000 camera.
That is interesting as hell.
Yeah, totally.
So what did you have, like a capstone project or something that you were able to show off? Like what was the thing that you had that was probably your best work up to that point 2 semesters ago? Like,
I have no idea. I've done so many different things.
Really?
And I guess what I really try to do is try to make the current thing better than the last.
I like
So
that.
I
Okay.
try not to compare anything to anything else because I always try to do the best for that project and have it be better than the last one as
Sure.
far as my camera work and what I've done as the person doing the visuals and stuff. I try to make the shots a little nicer, more stable, or whatever I can just to better myself or to better the quality of what I'm putting out there.
And do you feel personally like you are doing that? Like you're getting better as you go? Like you're learning
Yeah,
shit
definitely.
as you go?
Yeah. Every day. There isn't a day that goes by I don't get a new email, a new something that's like, here's this new bit of information.
That's
then
interesting.
How can I go apply it? Like, especially with the editing, I can shoot like all day till I'm blue in the face with digital, but it's what I do with that content afterwards now and what I can, how I can manipulate it or what with it. The NAB show was like a huge eye opener as far as the technology in editing has
Okay.
gone from we used to need a massive $30 million mother computer to edit Star Wars, and now it's like I got my laptop and my 3 buddies and we can
Right.
put on Stranger Things. And
Well,
that's literally the way it was. I was like,
I've got you know this laptop, and I've got a buddy that is the other half of Purge of Birds, my sound engineer, going to Full Sail in Florida for a sound engineer, and I don't know what else you're doing, Spider, doing all kinds of cool shit down there. So,
Nice.
but he's the one that ultimately edits this, and it all goes through Pro Tools on his one laptop.
Right.
And when he first was telling me about all this stuff, you know, and like we're getting this thing together, like the first couple episodes came, I was like, "Show me your rig, dog. Show me what you got." You know, and he takes a picture of this like scratched up Apple, you know. I was
Right.
like, "That's legit." Like you do all that through there, you know, and it comes down to like, you know, modern computing's caught up, you know,
Yeah.
and that's really it. But I know that software is big too. What do you use to edit with? What is your go-to?
The Adobe suite.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just the Premiere, After Effects, Audition, all the Adobe products, and it's used to be the Apple stuff,
Okay.
Final Cut and all that good
Right.
stuff, for ease of use and everything. But the last probably like 4 or 5 updates, from Adobe have made it like
The
the
go-to.
the go-to. But now with the release of DaVinci or Resolve 15,
Okay.
from the Black Magic guys, that's where the industry, I believe, will be going to within the next year. Like pretty much everyone.
So I had a buddy, and I wish I had him here because he's more filmography knowledgeable than I am any day of the week. But he's telling me that there's things in Premiere that you don't get in a lot of other software. And what are those things you look for something like that makes it professional? Like just a couple of things. Because you think of something that makes this better than that. I mean,
I don't. Everything's kind of on the same level now. It's just how well it holds up, how well it doesn't, I guess, crash and stuff like that.
sure,
They do have their, like, one will have like one extra tool than the other one or
right.
something. So it's kind of, you can't just be limited to the one. You have to take that one tool and still apply it, but then go back into your other
Sure.
programs and stuff. So
I've tried to use. I got a Sony Vegas Pro, the latest iteration of it, and I was pulling my hair out, man. Like it's just, I feel like like a monkey. I'm hitting like it just seems so primitive, you know. And
Right.
Premiere is beautiful, and I love it. But I had a cat that's like old school, you know, film geek, and this guy is amazing, Alexander Kiryakov. Shout out to you, brother. Smart cat.
Nice.
But this guy he makes a lot of visuals and stuff like that. He was telling me about how Autodesk makes they make a video editing software that's something like that. Have you heard of Autodesk
I
stuff?
haven't.
No. He
No.
said that the core technology behind it, they're the CAD guys, the AutoCAD guys.
Mm-hmm.
The core technology behind it is supposed to be, you know, just a few steps above what Premiere's doing. But he
Nice.
said it's all, you know, it's all really relative to the person. Like if you can make it fucking look good, it doesn't matter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you could use your iPhone, like he said,
Totally.
you know, and like
Yep.
put together some banging video that goes viral as hell, or you know, ends up being. I've seen short movies made with like the iPhone 10.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
totally.
They'll put the gimbals on there and they'll
Yep.
run around in the forest to make some shitty horror film or something. But
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
good, you know.
Yeah, totally.
So I know we were going a direction when I was talking about film, and I wanted to kind of get into cameras, but I wanted to ask you about a certain somebody that I see in your circle. So who is Xander Arts? Who is that guy? Who's Xander?
Xander is my mentor.
Okay, okay, because I saw him all over your page, and then I found some stuff that you had done with him, right? Or
Totally, yeah.
Okay. Tell me about this guy. Who is this?
Yeah, so the camera union is a total catch-22.
Okay.
You can only be in the camera union if you're in the camera union.
Wow. Okay. It's hard to be in that thing.
It is, yeah. I'm
Real
kind of like,
exclusive, man.
yeah, like the whole nepotism works as well.
Right.
You know, kind of like born into it. But unless you know somebody that's active member in the camera department, in the camera union, the local IATSE 600,
Okay.
there's no way for a non-camera 600 person to get a job within the camera department on any SAG or major motion picture big budget thing that's
No shit. Okay.
unionized.
So just for people listening, SAG, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to have certain spoken amount of lines on film as a cast guy. As a
Yep.
as a crew guy, you have to have like a pay stub saying you did something, right? Or something like it has to be a SAG.
SAG is just for actors, but once
Okay.
a set is sanctioned a SAG set, then it means it's just union. With the SAG union, then there has to be an IATSE crew union that follows them up.
So union to union, and
Yeah, so
That's
it's just
interesting.
basically the whole set is unionized, as far as cast and crew goes.
that's where that big money comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
You union boys get paid well. So
Yep.
Xander is in the union, and somehow or another you were able to get in with him. Like
Yeah, I was, I guess, able to impress him enough. Just put out some content that he liked. Me and my buddy showed up to a shoot that he was the creative control, the creative in charge, and he was like, "Oh, hey, I like your guys' stuff. Let's start hanging out. Let's see if we can make some stuff happen."
Dude,
And
what's cool about that is how you're basically explaining the core of what a lot of what I think people miss nowadays is the people part of it. You know, like you're talking about the degree and all that stuff, how it's not as important, but the ability to just show up and do what you love and then talk to another human instead of trying to use email or Facebook or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, you and I couldn't have done that, right? Just because we actually are in totally different places. But the fact you're able to go up and shake hands like that, I mean, and like you said, word of mouth is how you get around, man. What was it that he saw? Do you remember?
I no, I don't. He saw something, but he was just like, "Hey, you guys do some good shit. Like impress me. Like do
That's
something
awesome,
cool."
dude.
So
Yeah.
it was just building off that relationship, trying to impress him all the time. It was like, how can we impress this guy and have him want to have us around more and invite us back and stuff.
That's pimp, dude.
And then it was just one day last year, sometime he called me up and was like, "Hey, buddy, this is it. This is the phone call you've been waiting for.
Really?
There's a really big show coming to town. Some guy used to be the Batman.
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do a Western.
Right.
And might wanna have you involved." And I was like, "What?
That's
Oh
so
my God!"
awesome.
It was just like total life changer. And then uh, Christian Bale and Rosamund Pike and all of them came to town, shot a big movie called Hostiles on 35 millimeter film, which I had never touched before.
Now
And
this
it
is
was-
considered old school 35
Yeah,
millimeter, right? This is
exactly,
not
yeah.
digital. This is off of actual film.
Yeah, off actual film. But at that level, when it's like the absolute highest, they still don't use digital. They all kind of revert back to the 35 millimeter film because it's better quality than the digital.
So I've seen on sets, and I was talking to this earlier, the Panavision cameras. Is this one of those?
We had a few Panavisions, but we had a bunch of REs as well. We rented all of our lenses and stuff out of Panavision. Panavision's more like a rental house. They do have their own cameras and everything, but they aren't the absolute best. The RE, I guess, would be considered the absolute best cameras.
When
that
you're
you
saying
can buy.
RE, is that AR?
AI or yeah, ARII, something like that.
Google it, damn it. I don't know. No, the reason I was asking is because I was looking into the Red cameras. I had seen the Red cameras, and I know you talked about those. So is Red like a new player in the camera world, or?
Yeah, they're pretty new. They haven't been around that long. They're pretty new as well as like the Black Magic guys and stuff. But they're based off the digital format with a rolling shutter and everything. So
Okay, and now is this because I've seen some of the shots from that, and I had a cat in Australia I was trying to hook up with that's a filmographer, and he's kind of doing the same thing you are. Brad Day, I love you, bro. We had like a miscommunication. I don't know if he's gonna be on, but love you, Brad Day. But that dude was shooting some stuff all in the Red. I think they're called the RAW. Right, and that was one of the lines, but it was like an 8K, and I was just blown
Right.
away by the stuff he was putting down. Now, why would I want 35 millimeter over my 8K or my 4K RAW? Like, what am I losing? What am I gaining? I mean, is it preference really?
well, the dynamic range or the latitude, and it's a bunch of just different terminology.
You just got deep on me there, Neil.
Right. So latitude is more of a film term, and then dynamic range is more of a digital term.
Okay.
But it's I guess how well the camera interprets the grayscale.
Okay.
So it doesn't just go from black to white. It actually sees all the millions of different shades in between,
Wow.
which would be the grayscale, just all the different shades of gray and stuff like that. So you have more range in
More
your
realism,
darkness. Yeah,
essentially.
exactly. Yeah.
So would you say that is the idea is that it's trying to lean towards what the human eye is capable of doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and that's what it is. And getting into the 4K, 8K stuff, the ultra high definition is trying to get closer to the 35 millimeter film. But
That is interesting as hell that you say that. Okay.
right, so the comparison to 35 millimeter film is actually 8K. So
Really?
35 shoots what would be digital 8K. So until we get to actual shooting 8K and then projecting 8K, we're still not to 35 millimeter quality.
You kind of blew my fucking mind, dude.
Yeah.
That was heavy, dude. I like that right there.
Nice.
See, I wanted to hear some of that kind of stuff because that speaks layman to me, you know. And I'm an IT cat, but I don't know that much about, you know, like I can rip a movie and tell you about some qualities, bro. But that's just not the same. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my thing has always been trying to make it look as dramatic in the flair coming from a a rookie or homemade kind of point of view. When you go for these shots, do you go for something in your mind, or are you going for the quality of the camera? Like, I know I can do X better with this camera, so I'm using like a specific camera to make a drama scene or like an action scene. Like, how are you gauging what to use, what tool to use? Like, can you make a camera do a lot of things, or do you use an ARRI for something, or and a 35 millimeter, I don't know, for something else?
Well, I guess it all depends. The big thing at the moment is the shitty camera challenge.
The shitty camera.
So you kind of
Speak to me. I need to know.
right, you get all your like photographer, videographer buddies together, and you all get like the crappiest camera you possibly can, and try to create the best content with it, or try to mimic something that you've seen done with
Dude.
$100,000 camera.
Is there any alcohol involved in these kind of challenges?
There could be. I mean, it would probably be a lot more fun.
Okay, so you've done a few of these then?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
And I think that being in the industry, we all kind of get lost to that because we all see all these crazy expensive toys and
Right,
stuff.
okay.
But then it comes back to the roots of it, and like Hitchcock and all these other guys that were the masters or are the masters
Sure.
still, they didn't have these toys that we do now. So why
Right.
should we just be so privileged to play with them all the time? Why shouldn't we like go back to
Right.
theirs?
Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't
Exactly.
break what works and shit like that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome, man.
And-
So I'm sure that's why you're good at what you do, though, because you have an eye for that and you keep that in the back of your mind when you're looking at stuff.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's what allows me to get hired a lot more as well, is because I can tell people like, look, I have all this really expensive, cool stuff, but I don't have to use it. I can use this $5 thing and get you the same amount of quality as I can with this. But when I use this, it's just going to be way easier and look way better.
Wow,
So,
that's interesting, man. And I love how you just put that, because that is some insight to what you do, man. Because that's literally like the meat and potatoes, right? I mean,
totally.
that's
Yeah.
cool. So in that same mindset, so you have the mind, you have the equipment, and you have the drive. So with Xander, so does he edit as well?
Yeah. Xander's a one-man band for sure, and that's kind of where I've gotten my ambition and stuff from, because I've seen him do it. I didn't know he was doing it on his own as much as he does.
Yeah.
And then was kind of just like, wow, it doesn't require a huge crew. Like,
Sure.
you don't have to have 50 people doing everything. You
Right.
can just do it yourself and take your
Just
time.
a sick ass laptop.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it comes down to. You just have to have a badass laptop.
Well, I've seen that one of the main things that they're coming up with now, and even in the IT world, is they have plug-in graphics cards now. I thought I saw something about that. Like, you had like a workstation attached to your laptop. Is that something you do? Like, it produces more processing ability?
Yeah, we haven't stepped up to the graphics card externally yet, but that's definitely
Coming.
that's definitely where we're going to. And it's all about just creating like a server with your stuff. So we just have the latest MacBook Pro, and then
Okay.
a bunch of different G drives, multiple, probably like 30 something terabytes worth of hard drives that we hook up at different times. But then it's just the speed of the new iMacs or the MacBook Pro with the USB-C and stuff.
So you like to see better than the FireWire?
No.
No,
Just-
okay. Because I don't, and I honestly am not a Mac guy at all. But is FireWire still a thing? Is that still something you guys use? Because I know that was basically created for like a lot of film and media
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
it's fast data transfer.
Sure.
So it's probably the highest at the moment. Is the FireWire, and then USB-C is only like 50 something megabytes a second, but it's still faster than USB, which is like,
Right.
I forget, like 10 or
Yeah, it's
something.
kind of ridiculous. USB's no fun. Not for doing what you do, because if you move anything that's like, past a gig, you're waiting unless
Yeah.
you have something that moves, because that's
Yeah, exactly.
man. So and just for fun, what are some things that you've ran through that? Could you tell me about any movies besides the ones that you've mentioned? Like, what are ones that you're proud of? Like, damn, I did this thing, and like, I did it on my laptop, son. Like,
Right.
anything like that? I mean, what you got?
Well, yeah, we just shot a thing that we were hoping to get picked up. It's kind of a passion project of mine called The 25th Hour. It was a concept I've been working on for a number of years that revolves around the question I have that I ask people, and it's, what would you do if you had one extra hour in the day that nobody else had? right? Most people tell me that they'd sleep. I believe 95% of the people I've asked, and I've asked several thousand, what they do most say sleep.
You know, and that would probably be my first answer, but I feel like because you've explained it that I'm not the first, now I want to put a little bit more thought into it. So just at face value, I would say that the thing that I would want to do more because it really is my ode to meditation because I don't meditate as much as I should, would be running. And I really like
Nice.
to run, you know what I mean? And if I had a dedicated hour that I didn't have to move around, because sometimes it's at lunch, sometimes it's after work, sometimes and some days I miss it, you
Right.
know, and I'm an asshole if I don't get my run on. My wife will attest to that. So will my kids, you know. So that would be my thing is I'd love to be able to run, you know, because even when I'm wasted, tired, I know that I can pull a run out of my ass because just something wakes up in you. It's like primitive, you know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
And that blood flowing and that work and that sweat, and then the fact that, and it's stupid, but like not very many people do that. You know what I mean? Like it's cool to kind of, you know, and it's not like a cool factor. Maybe I misspoke when I said that, but like it's more the fact that I know that I'm doing something that's good for me, and I'm kind of being a motivator for other people to do that. You know what I mean? Like similar people that may, you know, have like issues with getting up and doing that. It's like, well, this motherfucker went on his lunch. Why did he go
Right.
on his lunch? He had many other things he could be doing. And
Right.
he went, you know, so an hour of extra, man, because that would seal it up. That would be my hour, bro. It'd be on.
Totally.
I'd be ripped.
Totally.
That's heavy. So the 25th hour.
At the 25th hour, yeah,
Okay.
we shot a 90-second trailer for
Okay.
the Santa Fe pilot project.
I'm familiar with this, so
Nice,
I
nice.
got to know. So what? So you went into it was a contest, right?
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
contest. We went into it. We had really high hopes. Unfortunately, didn't turn out as we thought. But we plan on doing an Indiegogo or GoFundMe or something to hopefully further the project. And if that doesn't happen, I guess I'm just gonna have to get some more work and pull stuff out of my own pocket until I get this thing made. But
I'm sure you're making friends though, man. It's
oh
not,
yeah,
you
totally.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not super hard to like once you got a complete script or production. What would you call it at that point? Like you're floating around a movie essentially, right? Like you're floating
Yeah.
around a short film,
Right. Yeah.
and you're trying to get people to like, hey, check this out. Would you want to make this? Right? Is that
Right.
kind of how that works?
Yeah,
okay,
totally.
from that perspective, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So Jason Hill, are you familiar with Jason?
No.
He's the guy that their project won that contest.
Okay.
But he was one of, and he works with, I think it's Mankind Productions, and those guys. I had Jason on the podcast. He was like my 8th guest or something like that.
Awesome.
And we just couldn't hook up, so he did his in Mountain Air, and I was here, and like he has this horrible internet connection. But the interview came out super great. But like we worked hard to get that audio because it was like falling apart. But yeah, but that guy was telling me about how he's working he was like that is a big task, and he said, and I asked him, I said like, what's a budget for that? And I guess the prize was what, 15 grand, something like that, to
Yep.
win that. And so is that enough to do like far and above, or is that like I'm able to do this 15-minute like movie and that's it? That's 15 grand.
Right. It all depends on, I guess, how resourceful you are as a filmmaker and stuff. Different people's 15 grand goes different distances.
I guess a lot of Starbucks for $1,000, sir.
Right. Yeah. Fortunately, in my situation, I own and operate all my own equipment and everything, so a huge chunk of that would not be needed for that stuff. So it could go into other aspects, whereas some people have more stuff. I guess in relation to like the acting or that side of the camera.
Sure.
So then they need more the money for the actual equipment rental and stuff like that. So
Sure. I know that it's him and his buddy, kind of the same kind of deal, but I don't know if he's as intimately involved as you are, because I know he's more of an actor. He's done a lot of acting stuff, but I know that he was explaining to me that you essentially come up with a plan, and then you're pitching this trailer, and that's what you made, right, for the
Yeah.
25th hour. That's cool.
Yeah.
So what was that, the one where I saw the was that the Old West stuff?
yeah, it was like a Old West type thing. It's supposed to be on the same timeline as the Roswell incident. So 1947, I believe.
Okay.
So my story is the famous Roswell incident. Ship supposedly crashed in Roswell.
Right.
But it's like the only crash that has happened. So to me, I wanted to play off of that and be like, something made this thing crash. They probably got too close to something or something.
Right.
Might be this asteroid or whatever.
Right.
So
Or
I
some
have
hillbilly with a cannon.
right, yeah. So I have my storyline is that an asteroid makes the alien ship crash that got too close to it, but it has time stopping capabilities. So as it crashes to the ground, it like go slightly off course of the UFO that crashes there. So it's about a mile or so adjacent to it, and the property owner where it lands goes, finds it, takes it in, but he happens to be a watchmaker.
Huh.
So he figures that after he's messing with it, that if he like strikes it, it stops time. And he decides to put pieces of it into different time pieces and distribute them throughout the world.
That's awesome. So and so they tap it and time
Yeah,
stops.
so they like tap it however it relates to their character story. Like the military guys have a more military based watch
Sure.
and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like they,
Dude, that's a super cool concept,
yeah,
man.
at different times they find that it has the ability to stop time for the hour that he's put in. So it's like based off the size of the chip of the meteor he puts in there.
Okay.
So he has like a big old chunk of it. So he kind of is like able to stop time forever type of guy. And he's
Father
like the
Time.
the narrator. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He's like
Okay.
a father time type figure.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool concept. I think. I don't know.
No, that's
But,
awesome, dude. And I'll tell you what, if you put it out, dude, I'm gonna trumpet the hell out of that all
it's
over social
awesome.
media. I think
Awesome.
that's awesome, dude. Well, what is the so what do we have in the beyond that? What do you have in the future, man? Like what's next for Neil? I mean, what do you
Just really trying to pursue the camera union. Just doing everything I can to get the requirements met to actually get in and be accepted.
So you're not actually 100% into this thing yet.
No, not at all.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
So is Xander like he's your
he's like my ticket.
okay. So
Yeah.
that's why you're doing good for Mr. Xander. Well,
Yeah.
tell him if he wants to come on the podcast, bro. That would be sweet. I don't you know,
Totally.
and I'm sure being union, there's you know, he may not want to or may not be able to, but if he's able to, man, I'd love to be able to hear more insight to this because I think it's something that is, you know, in this day and age, bro, movies it's just part of like American fabric, American culture.
totally.
You know what I mean? Like who
Yeah.
doesn't quote a movie at least,
Right.
you know, every day of some
Yeah.
sort, you know, like everybody does. It's just the way our culture is. And I think, you know, people that can embrace it and enjoy it are I feel like you can learn things from movies, you know, and you can take that like in the weird like cable guy babysitter way, or you can take it in like the, you know, like
Right.
like, you know, there's some movies that really touch you or they make you think about things in a manner that, you know, like you said, you're trying to no, I guess not spontaneously, but you're trying to create an emotion out of your audience, you know,
Yep.
and it's basically your vision, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And whether you're I mean, really, the camera guy is the dude because you're the dude behind the camera and you're pulling the trigger. Director can say go, but
Right.
you're the one he's watching on the monitors in the back, bro. That's cool. So anybody you want to give a shout out to, man? Like I know you work with your partner at Vue Q. What's his name?
Yeah, Ryan Smith. He's
Right.
he's my right hand man. Right. He's always there when I need somebody to do anything pretty much.
Now, does he do the drone piloting stuff, or is that you?
That's me as well, but the way that works is he actually went and got certified. So he's the remote pilot in command.
Okay.
But I'm the one flying.
Oh, really?
So he always has his eyes on the drone,
Okay.
whereas I sometimes have to, not sometimes, most of the time I'm looking down at my screen. So
Oh, okay.
I'm lost or not lost, but haven't had my eyes visually on the aircraft. So if my eyes aren't on it, his eyes are definitely on it.
Got you. Okay, so that's cool because this is like serious. This is federal aviation stuff, right?
Yeah,
like you
totally.
had to have a federal license to
Yep.
drive this thing.
Yeah, it's FAA Part 107, unmanned aircraft.
Hopefully they're unarmed, bro.
Right.
Imagine the day when those motherfuckers get armed. Oh my god,
Uh,
that's a scary thought. So what? So what? I mean, that sounds like fun, dude. Drive around a drone. How often do you use those on sets?
they've become way more prevalent. We probably use it more than any other tool that
Really?
would be a tool in probably like the last year or so. It's what gets me hired most.
Wow, is the drone stuff?
Yeah,
huh?
it's the drone.
So, and that's a DJI drone, right? The brand.
Yeah. I just use the DJI Phantom 4 Professional.
Oh, that's like the latest and greatest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I've had a bunch of other ones and stuff, but everybody seems to accept them as the standard.
Sure. And that shoots in 4K.
Yeah, it shoots 4K at 60 FPS.
Damn. And it actually does that though.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow. That's because they're a Chinese company, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That is heavy, dude. Because I know they get some. They're iffy, bro. Like, you remember the hoverboards? That was a thing. Remember? Because they couldn't put together batteries that were worth of shit, so they'd explode and all.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you have good luck with these DJIs. Everything works good with them.
Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't had a crash yet. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. But it's been good. I unfortunately had the American company 3DR Solo. I jumped on that ship right away and it's like, I'm all American, got to get the American drone, and it lasted about 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
$2,500 down the drain.
Oh my god. And what did they tell you?
They just they dropped the line. They got away from doing the drones themselves and got more into the 3D mapping, which is really big, and that's what most people do with the drones outside of the film industry.
Sure. I'm actually looking into the interior mapping, which I don't know how much of that is actually out there. Like I've actually looked at that as a real career alternative.
Right.
Is the interior mapping with the lasers. Autodesk makes another one that's supposed to be like the bee's knees with that.
Yeah.
They were doing a lot of like museums like the Louvre and shit like that. You know, they were scanning those, and that's where you get those Google walkthroughs.
Yeah.
And all that. We did a VR podcast where I wore a Vive and another
nice.
gentleman wore a Vive in Orlando. It was awesome, dude. So we did that inside of a space, and something like that I think is going to be where you're going to see. I know that like the NBA is already putting VR in the stadiums.
Right.
So you're actually able to walk around in that shit. Are you looking at stuff like that for the future?
Yeah, definitely. Anything that involves a camera and stuff.
He's like, dude, if it's got a lens, quit asking me. If it's got a lens, the answer is yes.
Yeah, and sports right now they hire the most video camera people out of anybody. The NFL, NBA, stuff like that. There's opposed to a movie set where there's 3-4 camera people max.
Right.
In NFL, NBA game, there'll be 32.
Wow. And do they get? I mean, is the pay pretty good? I mean.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's worth dropping everything else and getting after it, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. They definitely compensate everybody very well, very fairly.
That's
for
cool.
Sure. But yeah, the sports industry and then with the VR stuff is super huge, as well as the travel industry.
Sure.
For people that necessarily can't get out there and travel and stuff, they
Right.
don't have that more virtual experience, interactive experience.
I literally was walking around the base camp city, the highest city, before you start getting into base camp areas in Everest. And Google did a Google Culture and Arts. I put a lot of that on our page. But they do the VR walkthroughs, and like it's one of the first times I've actually like walked around with a mouse, and like actually took it in. Like I was reading the little plaques, and I was walking into little niches and looking at the pottery and stuff. And I was like, man, I feel like an old man, but I'm loving this.
Right.
Like, go outside and you see the mountain behind you, all huge and shit. Like, and it's your choice where you go. It's not like the film, like you're being pulled around. And I love the option part of it. That's cool to be able to look in different directions. There's a wicked death metal band, Suicide Silence. I don't know if you're savvy, but they put out a cool video that you got to look up called Doris. I've talked about it before, but they did like I call it a concept album because they did like this weird singing shit instead of like a screaming for this newer album. I think they're newest, but the video is 4 walls of video, and they're each a different scene, and you're dropped in the middle in a 360 video on YouTube, and you're able to like basically see a huge, and if you wore a headset or you put the phone shit on with the VR, it'd be 100-inch screen, but you'd turn around, you'd see like a moshing scene, then you'd see like some abstract shit, and then you'd see like them in the studio on another shot, and it was the coolest thing because I'd never seen something like that,
Right.
And I think it plays to this generation, you know what I mean? Because this generation's like real fucking my phone, you're
Totally.
real attention getters. So to have 4 options of the same shit, like, that's next level. That's cool, So I hope to see some VR shit like that, man, out of you.
Right.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so I think I think one of the biggest things that I took away from this is I need to quit everything I'm doing and try to pursue film. That sounds like that's what I want to do. That sounds like some fun shit, man.
Yeah, I love it. Definitely.
That's cool, man. Well, yeah. So, well, thank you for coming on, man. And I think if you guys come up on that project or you come up on anything else that you feel like you just want to get on here and yak about, bro, I'm all ears, dude. I loved having you on. You have a great presence on the mic, dude, for sure.
Yeah, totally. Hopefully something huge will come up and I'll want to tell the world.
Right? Be like, we'll have to come up with those code names, those NDA code names.
Right.
We'll call it Smoky Pie or something. You know?
Right.
Project Smoky Pie. All right, brother. Well, thanks, Neil.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Neil, I know that you've actually you've had some success with your A+ drone delivery service. So even after the incident, which I thought was kind of crazy. So, like, what did they say about that? How's that turning out for you?
Everything's turning out great. Little Sally's gonna be fine. She only lost about 3/4 of her hair.
Right,
but,
it was like a skin from a cow or something. They had to transplant back.
Yeah. They got a nice chunk of its hide and put on there with some fish skin as well. Helps with the healing process. They found burn victims and stuff as well. They're like the carp skin they're putting on there.
Yeah, and I hear they had to call in a specialist, like a drone damage specialist, which is creating a whole new sector. I mean, you're actually feeding an industry. Didn't even know it. You know what? Are we still able to put that commercial on? Because I know that this is kind of post. Like, what did your lawyer say? That's cool to be able to play that?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, let's cut to that
roll
real quick.